All right, let's start chapter 3. So we're on 3.1, which is angle pairs created by two lines and transversal. So transversal is going to be a new word. You should know what lines are, though. Okay, so let's get right into it. So first off, parallel lines, okay? They are two lines that don't intersect, and you already knew that, okay? Nothing crazy there, but this is important. They have to be coplanar. Remember, if there's two lines that didn't intersect, but were non-coplanar, they were skew lines, right? So what we're going to use here is, let's call this line L and line M, right? And for parallel, we usually do this, okay? It's like two little lines there. Now, if there were a different set, you could use two little arrows, but that would tell you that these two are parallel lines, okay? So here we have line L and line M are parallel, okay? Nothing crazy there. We've done that before. So here, we're going to name a pair of parallel lines. We're going to name a pair of perpendicular lines. Name a pair of lines that's parallel, but you can't say it for sure that they are. And then we're going to answer this question here. So nothing crazy. So first off, name a pair of parallel lines. Now remember, I just showed you this little triangle, right? It looks like a little arrow, or you can see this too. That's pretty common as well. That's what the picture is going to do down here. So when it says name a pair of parallel lines, we need to make sure that the picture says they're parallel. So looking here, we know for sure that EF and GH are parallel because they have the little box there, a little triangle, right? So we could say that EF is parallel to, that's what parallel is, GH. Okay? Again, because of this little triangle. Now, perpendicular, remember that means that they meet at a 90. The symbol for that is a little box, like a little line like this, right? It looks like a perpendicular line. So we're going to name a pair of perpendicular lines. So they always meet at a right angle, and we only know for sure that one of them does that, right? We don't know that these two do, but we do know that this one does, right? This one tells us it's a right angle. So we know that AB or AC and BK are two perpendicular lines. So AC is perpendicular to, and then BK, the up and down one. Now it looks like BK and EF would work as well, but we don't have a box there. We don't know for sure. Okay? Now we're going to name a pair of lines that looks parallel, but you are not able to say that they are. So what that means is, for example, it looks like KF and GC are parallel, right? It looks like they're never going to touch. But there's no indication in this picture that those lines are actually parallel, right? It feels like they are, but there's nothing that says they are. So I said KF and GC. They are not actually parallel, but they look parallel, okay? And you would never want to claim they are because the picture doesn't say so. All right, is CG parallel to KF? So CG and KF, are they parallel? No, we just said that, right? Nothing indicates that they would be. Okay? So nothing too crazy there. Make sure you rely on the picture. That's the same mantra I've used all year. Okay? Transversal, that's that new word. So transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines at different points. So in this case, we have one line, two lines, and then this transversal T hits both of these lines right here at different points. Okay? So it's always going to be a line that cuts through two different lines. Now, we're going to be using this picture a lot. Okay? A lot. So, let's get a couple of the different things going on here. Okay? So here are the angle pairs. This is a nice little table we have here. So we have supplementary angles. Okay? So the definition is that they add up to 180. We've done that before, right? 180 degrees. The picture of that would be this. So we have this angle and this angle. That's a picture. Not the only picture, right? Let's call that 120 and call that 60. They would be supplementary angles. Okay, I'm not sure if they want at that line there. Vertical angles. Okay, we've talked about this. Okay, they are congruent. Okay, the definition isn't really a definition, but it's going to be kind of what we have here. Okay, this is going to be what the relationship is more so. So these are congruent, but we also know that they're formed by two lines. So it looks like this. Here's a line, and here's a line, and there's 1 and 2. Okay? So we know here that 1 and 2 are the same. Let's put little tick marks in there, like that. Okay, 1 and 2 are the same. Now we have our 4 new ones. Okay, these ones are brand new. The other ones were not. Okay? And for the first one, I almost want you to think more often of this example of supplementary what am I doing? This example of supplementary angles, we have a linear pair. Remember, that's if they touch. Okay? So the picture of this one would be like this. Okay? It's a very specific example, but it's very, very useful. Okay? So here are the 4 new ones. Now we have corresponding angles. I'm going to abbreviate this as core, like that, a lot. Okay? These are angles that are on the same side. So here we're going to be talking about this picture. So for all of these 4, the ones with the dot next to them, we're going to be thinking about this picture that we talked about with the transversal last time. So here's 2 lines cut by this transversal T. Okay? So I'm going to draw this picture 4 times over here. So corresponding angles are going to be on the same side of the transversal. Same side of transversal, and they're going to be on opposite or on the same side of the lines. I think that's the best way to put that. Same side of lines. Okay? So what I mean by that, here we have the transversal. Here's 2 lines. Put T for the transversal. Let's do it in like orange. Corresponding angles, and there's more than one set, right? Let's go with this one right here and this one right here. Okay? Do you see how they're on the same side of the transversal? They're both on the right side, and they're on the same side of the lines, above it. Okay, on top side. That's the best way I can think of putting that. Okay? Now there are 4 pairs in this picture. This is not the only pair. Okay? There are 4 other ones. Okay? Then we have alternate interior angles. I'll abbreviate that as AIA. They are going to be angles that are both interior. Okay? So different sides of transversal on the interior. Okay? So the thing here is same picture, right? Nice and small. T. Okay? The interior of that picture, right? The exterior is going to be outside the 2 lines, so up here and up here. This would be an exterior angle. The interior is inside, so this one's an interior angle. So for alternate interiors, it's exactly as it looks, right? There's 2 angles that are inside, and they're on different sides of the transversal. So this one and this one would be alternate interior angles. Okay? There's another pair in there as well, right? These 2 would be as well. Okay? These ones are not. Okay? Alternate exterior, AEA. Same idea, right? Different side of transversal. And exterior. Okay? See, I'm going to draw it a little bit angled differently so I can make some room. Lines are just straight that way. Okay? So we have the transversal and the 2 lines. So different sides of the transversal, but on the exterior. So exterior is on the outside, so that would be the alternate exterior angles, okay? Always on the opposite side of the transversal. One's on the left, one's on the right, and they're both on the outside. There's one more pair here. And then we have same side interior angles, okay? I've never called them that. This is a book thing. I've always called them consecutive interior angles. Okay, I will try to use same side interior, but if I use this one on accident, that's just because that's what I was taught, okay? I will use SSI if I remember to use this abbreviation, or CIA if I remember to use that one, okay? So these are going to be on the same side of the interior. I'm just going to put an arrow there, okay? Exactly what it says, right? And so if I draw this little picture, here's T. It's going to be on the same side of the transversal, so on the right side, but both inside. Okay? like that. So those are the 4 new ones that you haven't learned about before. Now, they'll have relationships later on, but for now, this is just how they're built, okay? Now, the important thing, and something that's very commonly asked, right? Like, for example, if I'm looking at alternate interior angles, so I'm going to draw this picture again. Here's my transversal. And I told you that alternate interior angles were angles that are on the inside on opposite sides of the transversal, right? But a question that I have commonly been asked is, well, why not these ones, right? From what I said, so we'll go with this one and this one. Why are those not alternate interior angles, right? They're on the opposite sides of the transversal and they're both inside. So here's the reason. If it already has a name, which these two do, then that's not going to work, right? You're not going to name the same thing twice. So in this case, these would be a linear pair, right? And so I'm not going to say, well, they're on the same side, or on the interior on different sides of the transversal, and they're not a linear pair, right? Just don't rename it. So it always has to be here and here, not here and here, if that makes sense, okay? Don't name the same angle pair twice, all right? But we have 6 different sets of angle pairs here. These pictures should do a lot of work for you, but we're going to practice with this a little bit, okay? See, here we have example 2. Identify 3 pairs of angles of the given type in this picture. Okay, so like I said, each one of these, we just did one of them. There's many of them, okay? So corresponding. Again, corresponding from above, what it says is that they are same side of the transversal and on the same side of the lines. So in this case, it could be on the bottom of the transversal. Again, this is our transversal right here, the left-right one. Okay, it has to cut through 2 lines. Same side of the transversal and on the same side of the lines. So for example, we'd have angle 1 and angle 3. Okay, 1 and 3 would be corresponding angles because they're both on the bottom of the transversal and on the left of the lines. Okay, I'm only going to do one of all of these. You on your own, I want you to finish this. Okay, I want you to do the second and the third. We'll go over it in class, but it should be doable. Okay, I'll probably do this on Thursday or Friday. Okay. Alternate interior, again from above, that was different sides of the transversal on the inside. So for example, angle 2 and angle 7. 2 and 7 are alternate interior angles. Vertical angles should be easy. There's a lot of them. I think there's, 4 pairs? Let's go 1 and 6. Alternate exterior, again, on the different sides of the transversal on the outside. So here we're on the outside, which means on the left and the right of the picture, right? All the way out here. And all the way in here. So for example, 1 and 8 would be alternate exterior. So angle 1 and angle 8. Same side interior, that's angles that are on the interior but on the same side, so like 2 and 3. Okay, go ahead and skip the third one here. There's not 3 pairs. Okay, and the last one, supplementary angles, any linear pair in the picture works, so like 7 and 8. Okay. That should do it here. Go ahead and finish that on your own. This is very, very doable, but it's very good practice. Okay? We'll finish this in class if you don't. All right. On to the next page. It's a longer video, sorry. We're going to name the angle pair in the picture. So this is out of the 6 options. Okay? So have this one next to you. Whether you took a picture with your phone or you have it ripped out of your something like that, you have 6 options, okay? Those 6 options are going to be every answer on this page. We are going to do the first, let's do the first 4. Okay, so, let's do the odds, you do the evens at home. So we will do 1, 3, 5, and 7. In this video, you go ahead and do 2, 4, 6, and 8 on your own, okay? So 1, what I see here is I see my transversal here. An easy way to start these is to label a transversal. And now I see that our angles that are on the same side of the transversal on the left and on the same side of the lines above it. So that would be corresponding angles. Okay, find the picture in the table that looks like it. Number 3. Again, the same thing, right? We have a transversal right here. They're on the same side, they're on the right, and they're both above. It is corresponding yet again. Okay? You should be able to turn these out pretty quickly after you memorize how they look. Okay? 1 and 4. Now looking at this picture, we have a lot more stuff, right? So 1's here and 4's here. Again, this is our transversal. Now these should be easy, right? We've seen these before. They make an X, so they're vertical angles. Okay. And number 7, 2 and 8. 2's here, and 8 is here. They're both on the outside or the exterior, and they're on different sides of the transversal. So those are alternate exterior angles. Okay? This might be like a Kahoot topic that we do. You should be able to do this very, very quickly. Nothing to it. Okay? Hopefully that made some sense. All right, on to our last page. Okay? So here we have a bunch of stuff. It says what happens if there are more than 2 clumps of angles. Okay? So here, every line actually acts as a transversal. And that's the issue, right? We can look at the picture like this. We can look at the picture like this, and we still have the same picture as before, right? We can look at the picture like this or like this. So we basically have 4 pictures that match the previous picture that we had before, right? And so you kind of got to think in that way. For example, 1 and 5 are corresponding, but so are 1 and 9, okay? And so there's a lot of options. So we have probably going to have more than one name, but let's go ahead and start on it. So what I would do is I would identify the transversal and the 2 lines, okay? These can always be boiled down to that one transversal and the 2 lines, okay? So if I'm looking at 11 and 15, here's 11, here's 15, there is one line that touches both of those, that's this one, and 2 lines it cuts through. So what I can do is I can take a paper, I can cover the top of this, and I can just see 11 and 15. And now I have that old picture that we had before, and now these are corresponding angles based on that table. And so I go back and I write corresponding, okay? That's what my brain does every time that I'm about to start one of these problems, okay? Again, we'll do the first 3, you do the last 3. Number 2, 8 and 13. 8's here, 13's here, cover this, right? They're both on the inside, on opposite sides of the transversal, so they are alternate interior angles. Okay? Again, look at that table if this is confusing. And the last one is 1 and 12. So 1's up here, and 12's over here. Okay? So again, we're going to cover like this. They're both on the outside, on opposite sides of the transversal, so these are alternate exterior angles. Okay? Go ahead and try the next 3 on your own. So here, do on your own. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions on that, but just make sure you practice with those angle pairs. We'll spend some time on it. I'm sorry in advance for the 3.2 thing being at the bottom in your packet, but that's okay. Okay? So my big thing here, instead of writing a summary, what I want you to do is I want you to go finish the problems in there, of course. And then I also want you to try to write all the angle pairs from memory. Okay? Draw a picture if you can, right? See if you can label 6 of them and give me an example of each from this picture, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See if you can give me a pair of each of the 6 from memory. Okay, don't look back on this. That would be a really good summary. That would tell me that you learned a lot from this video. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm sorry it was a longer one. Have a good day.